It's been 2 weeks since Russian military forces first started waging war in the Ukraine. And while here in the West, it's relatively easy to tune out the constant hum of world news, when you're living in the middle of it, it's not so easy.
Everyone is afraid, but nobody's doing anything. It's just very exhausting, to listen to all of this while living in it in the same time.
22-year-old Yuilya Zhydetska was an exchange student at Huntley Project High School in 2018, but has since moved back to her home in Ukraine. She lives in Ivano-Frankivsk, a western Ukrainian city of 230,000 people that's only starting to see the brunt of war. Yuilya said they heard air sirens last night in the city for the longest time yet since the conflict began, for 3 Russian bombs that fell nearby.
And turned out that 3 bombs were dropped very close to my city, to the region where I live. It was just in a different region, basically called in the city called Rivne. But thankfully, our pilots basically knocked down those bombs, so they didn't hit any houses, or they were dropped in the field. So that's something that happened relatively close to where I am.
Yuilya lives with her mother and stepfather in a home that has no basement, so the family has taken to sheltering in the bathroom to wait out the air raid sirens. She said Western Ukrainian cities along the Polish border have lately been overwhelmed with at least 2 million Ukrainian people fleeing the devastation in the east. But people have stepped up to help.
That's kind of an issue right now. But people, we have tons of volunteers preparing food, and it's constantly, every day they're trying to get stuff, give it to these people that give it to the soldiers that are fighting.
As the fighting continues, Ukrainian leaders are telling their people to get back to their jobs, businesses, and schooling. Yuilya said many places in Ivano-Frankivsk are trying to be open by Monday, but she's unsure of how that will work, with the threat of bombs that could fall from the sky at any time.
People and children cannot just, sit and wait and do nothing, and wait for the bomb to drop. But I don't know how this will actually implement in life. But I just cannot come to realization that all of my plans are just ruined, and I don't even know what's going to happen tomorrow or what's going to happen next week.
Yuilya told me that her family will evacuate if the situation gets worse in their city, but for now they're staying put. They've considered applying for an American or Canadian visa, but appointments to get those visas are few and far between. Reporting in Billings, Mitch Schlage, MTN News.